white men get to fail over and over and over and over again. There are white men who make it to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams, never win a championship, but they still get a shot. But if you're black, your leash is so much shorter. Your opportunities are so much slimmer. So the Nets just announced that Steve Nash would be their latest head coach. This has my head spinning. How does Steve Nash, with no experience, become an NBA head coach? Now, let me be clear. This is not a diss of Steve Nash. Steve Nash is one of the greatest basketball players we've ever seen. He's probably a top 5, top 10 point guard in NBA history. He's a great teammate. He has a high basketball IQ. He is a legend. He's a 2-time MVP. There's very little bad anybody could say about Steve Nash, the player. The question is, how does Steve Nash become an NBA head coach, and how does he get to the front of the line? There are so many people who have been waiting for NBA head coaching jobs. Black players who become assistant coaches who never get to become head coaches. Black head coaches from college and other and international play who never make it into the NBA. Black players and black coaches who never even get a shot. And yet Steve Nash gets to the front of the line. This is what whiteness and power look like. Again, this is not a diss of Steve Nash. This is just pointing out the fact that there are so many people who have been waiting. On that very NBA team, the New Jersey Nets, Jacques Vaughn has been waiting in line. Jacques Vaughn was an NBA player. Jacques Vaughn was a star college player. Jacques Vaughn has a high basketball IQ, but Jacques Vaughn doesn't get the shot. Other people, like Mark Jackson, got passed over. Avery Johnson got passed over. I'm talking about people who have NBA head coaching experience, who, once they leave one job, don't ever get a chance for another job. Mark Jackson took the Golden State Warriors almost to the championship. And then who gets the job? Steve Kerr, with no experience, who walks them right into the championship. Avery Johnson, when he was coaching the Dallas Mavericks, was the fastest coach to reach 100 wins. Avery Johnson had a successful run with the Mavericks. He eventually gets fired and then gets one more shot with the Nets. Yet somehow white men get to fail over and over and over and over again. There are white men who make it to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams, never win a championship, but they still get a shot. But if you're black, your leash is so much shorter. Your opportunities are so much slimmer. Patrick Ewing is the coach of Georgetown, but he spent years in the NBA trying to get a head coaching job. He's an NBA legend. He has a high basketball IQ. Why doesn't he get the shot? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, maybe the greatest player basketball has ever seen, never got an NBA head coaching job, even though he desperately wanted one. Why? And yet somehow when it comes to Steve Nash, we can give him a shot. Now, some people would say Steve Nash was a great point guard. Steve Nash has a high basketball IQ. He deserves at least a chance to succeed. I agree. If you want to roll the dice with Steve Nash, go ahead, especially when you got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant on the team. They probably wanted a vet. They probably wanted somebody they could respect. They probably wanted a superstar player to be their coach. I'm not mad at Steve Nash. I'm mad that other people don't get that same chance. Jason Kidd right now is an assistant coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. He's still waiting for another shot. Tyronn Lue won an NBA championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he's an assistant coach on the Los Angeles Clippers, waiting for another shot. When will they get a chance? When will basketball players who are black get the same shots as basketball players who are white? The NBA has 5 black head coaches. How is a league with this many black players, a league that is majority black, overwhelmingly black, only have 5 head coaches? If the league has 5 head coaches, very few GMs, very few owners, one black owner, Michael Jordan, what does that say about the league? What does that say about sports? This raced division of labor is unmistakable and it's unavoidable. So we can celebrate Steve Nash. We can pat him on the back and wish him luck. But we got to ask the question, in a moment where we're talking about Black Lives Matter, in a moment where we're talking about inequality and destroying systemic racism, can we point to the NBA itself, not just as the place where people are protesting, but as the place where that very inequality is being reproduced in the coaching ranks?